Alright, so this is a little odd. I find it odd, at least. So, that last section that I just played through, I've been trying to basically record it, just to get the lines from the characters. There's a few lines in there. I wanted to get those, but apparently they're not in the translation because the box on the bottom that has all the line info, it doesn't display the lines that are delivered by the characters. And obviously, the characters are looking at, Setsuna and Kazuza, and they're so shocked, at what they're doing. But unfortunately, those lines are not, there's no text, displaying what they're saying. The entire text is basically just Haruki commenting on their scenario. So I'll just give you all the lines from this section. It's going to be a little weird. I don't know. Should I play it? I don't know. Should I play it again? So the way I had it set up right now is that it would play no music and just the voiceover. But the voiceover is actually going to be a distraction because some of the lines are, they're in the middle of characters speaking. Like, I don't even know how you're supposed to digest this if you're watching this in Japanese. Like, if you're watching this without me trying to translate. I don't know how you're supposed to digest, like, that you're supposed to read the text and hear them at the same time. But anyways, I think I would just go through what's written here. So this is going to be a really boring section. Yeah, why don't I mute them? Why don't I mute everything? I'll mute everything. So this will be really boring, but I'm just going to read all the lines and go through them all. So Haruki's thinking, as the curtain rolls up, a storm of applause, unfitting for an amateurish band like ours, greets us, and through the gap of the rising curtain we face numerous curious gazes from the audience. At the center of the stage stands our vocalist, drawing most of the audience's attention. As Setsuna starts singing, a wave of cheering arises, conveying to us the audience's astonishment. They have no idea that Setsuna is the solo karaoke queen. They've never heard her singing before. They must have thought that we asked her to be our vocalist because of her popularity, and she accepted it because she wanted even more attention. But in the past 2 weeks, she's sung this song countless times and practiced it to perfection. Only a handful of people know just how hard it was. She's no match for a pro, and there are a lot of amateur singers who could sing better than her. But even so, her singing exceeds what an ordinary high school girl can do. I bet that's why they're so astonished right now. As for me, on the audience's side, I let Setsuna handle the exaggerated reaction from the audience while I concentrate on my performance. There's no need to worry about her now. She's gleaming with confidence, completely different from how scared she was at the rehearsal. I don't need to think how to play. Just let my fingers move on their own, step by step. Okay, so I'm going to pause, because I'm way behind. Amazing, my fingers are moving perfectly. Compared to how terrible I was 2 weeks ago, this is amazing. And on stage... Okay, so now I can go back. And on stage, at the right, the audience's left side, Toma is playing the keyboard completely unfazed. Unlike a piano, an electronic synthesizer doesn't require delicate adjustment of force to play. That's why she can keep watching us the entire time. If you run into trouble, just listen to my sound. I'll lead you. She must be doing her best to keep true to those words, leaving no room for error. After the initial excitement, the audience seems to be ready to hear our performance. I expected as much, too. This is originally a quiet song, so I knew I couldn't keep the audience excited from the beginning until the end of the song. In the fact they're quiet means that they're earnestly listening to Setsuna's singing as well. From now on, their attention will shift from Setsuna's singing to Toma's and my performances gradually. Toma's performance is still perfect. Even though she's not looking at her fingers at all, she's completely on key and her tempo is flawless. She's also stopped caring about Setsuna, only looking at my finger movements worriedly. I really am the most unreliable of the three of us, huh? But even with how unreliable I am, I'm doing pretty well so far. It's like something inside of me has swollen. My finger movement and coordination are top-notch. I haven't made any mistakes so far. I can feel my mind drifting off to focus on the solo part in our second song, but still, my fingers are moving naturally. That said, I wouldn't be me if I didn't have some sort of contingency plan to make sure we succeed. I actually planned this just in case I messed up, but... And so this is the one line that maybe I should have kept the voices on for. He says, "Toma, it's time." And then Toma says, "Are we really doing this?" I give a suggestive wink to Toma, who's still looking at my fingers. It's a plan that I came up with on a whim and one which Toma frowned upon as ridiculous as a street performance. "I'm sure they'll love it." "Don't blame me if something goes wrong." After another few encouraging winks from me, she remains cool, gazing at me as calmly as ever. "Do it, Toma." "If I'm doing it, I might as well do it proper." At the end, she sticks out her tongue at me. She leaves her keyboard and makes her way to the center of the stage. Toma. Toma. Despite playing the saxophone, which is not her specialty, she's still composed enough to wink back at me. Aww. So that'll be the last line that is going to be written up there for this scene. So I know this is really weird. Oh no, so there are a few more lines. So Haruki says, "See, I told you, they love it." "I guess, yeah." This is ridiculous. To think that Toma is pulling such a stunt. This is an insult to music. After being called a genius and prodigy and kicking up such a fuss, she lowers herself down to this. Disappointing. Were you expecting something from her? I thought you hated her the most. I can't bear to look at this charade anymore. That's not my rival. That's just a Pyrrha, performing a stupid stunt. I don't think Toma ever thought of you as a rival, though. I don't recall you ever beating her in any contest. Ah, shut the hell up already. But you know, this time, it's their win again, isn't it? What is? Just look. How does all of this make you feel? So that's all the lines. So it's weird. It's like some of the spoken lines they do give you, but then other ones aren't. They don't give anything. There's nothing in the text box, so apparently for whoever did the translation, if there's nothing in the text box, there's nothing to translate. Now maybe they have it somewhere separately, but at least in here they don't. But again, I mean, you kind of get the gist of, like, Setsuna's family was watching on, and they were in shock about how good she was singing-wise. And then, obviously, the other characters are sort of commenting on the surprise of how well it's working. So yeah, it's odd, and, you know, I had to do it this kind of split way. I think I'll probably do that for all the auto-scrolls. I don't know if I'm going to be, like... I'm going to do it the exact same way that I did this one. But yeah. So now I can move on next time. See ya.